Hi guys, it's Kim from Living the Ground Life, and today I am going to be putting together my worm farm. So I've always wanted to compost, but I haven't because I have big concerns about my dogs. I have French bulldogs that are in the house and in the yard around the house, and then I have some livestock guardian dogs, Bear and Yona. They are Caracatchans, and they're out in the pasture. So all areas I have dogs, and I know dogs plus compost can be really bad. They can get very sick if they eat it, and all of mine I feel like would get into something like that if they smelt it. So I've never composted in fear of that, but I've always wanted to compost, and I buy a lot of compost. So this year I decided to do a worm farm, and I ordered it from Uncle Jim, and my worms haven't arrived yet, but my worm house has arrived. It's called the Worm Factory, which this is the lid right here. You can see it says Worm Factory. I got it off of his webpage. I don't think he designs it. I think he just sells it on his page, and it's $149 for it. I looked at do it yourself, and I considered it, but this just seemed really easy and ideal for the worms, and so I went ahead and got this to do. And it says to set it up before your worms come. My worms shipped yesterday, so hopefully they'll arrive tomorrow. And so I want to get it put together, and it comes with multiple trays. So it has 4 different trays here, one, and then there's 3 other ones. We're just going to set up one today, and then as the worms procreate, I guess, and we have more worms, we'll add more trays. But once this gets going, from what I understand, you can get 1 to 2 trays a month of worm castings. So I'm really excited about that for the garden. And so let's get started here of putting this together. And I am a beginner worm farmer here too, but I just want to document putting it together. I'll put the link to what I got as well, and it has a spigot that we'll put on that I'm trying to think of the word that they called it, the lecha or something like that. I thought it was like worm tea, but apparently that's very different. And so there's a container that goes under there that catches that you can collect what drips out and feed to plants. Although I read that the USDA says not to feed it to edible plants, so I'm about to do a little research on that. Right now it's raining, so I'm doing it in the hoop house. I'm thinking I'm gonna leave it in the hoop house, but I'm not sure. It's winter time here. It's the last day of November today. So I don't think it's good under 40 degrees, so I might have to put a cloth over it or something on really cold nights. But you know, we're the Pacific Northwest, and we're pretty mild weather, so I don't want this inside. And it says that it should get some light. And my basement, the only room I'd want to put it in is the laundry room, and doesn't get any light in there. And again, I don't want dogs in it, so I'm thinking the hoop house is going to be a good place for it. Not come summertime, that's not going to be ideal. But let's get putting this together. So most of this stuff that it comes with, it says it makes 2 trays, but this brick right here of coconut fiber, there's no way I'm breaking that in half, so I think I'm just going to make it in this bucket. And I'll use half of it, and then I'll just keep the bucket here for when I do the next tray. I'll just have it already ready, because there's no way you're breaking that. So it's very hard. So putting it in there, I got some warm water here. It says to add 1 cup at a time and let it absorb. Guesstimating on a cup. It's going to take more than a cup to get that to go. So the other thing it has in is rock dust, but this you do 1 to 2 teaspoons per tray. So this is going to last a lot of trays, where the coconut fiber and these other items are going to be just 2 trays. So it also has some pumice, which increases the airspace in the trays. So half of this and half of that is supposed to make 2 trays. And they give you some good old newspaper. Also comes with a couple little tools, like a little scraper, a little rake. There's a spigot that's going to go on that base when we move back over there. It also comes with a nice little composting thermometer. So it's interesting. This has an outdoor compost, and the ideal temperature is 60 to 160, and a worm compost is 40 to 95 degrees. I don't know if you could see that, but it's this little writing right down there. So that's a good reference to have. The lid on this has a lot of information too. Okay, so this is breaking apart pretty nicely now, but it's still really dry. So you want this wet but not soaking. Add some more water in here. Get this mixed up and get nice and dirty. Oop! I just totally sprayed that right in my face too. Try to be careful not to add too much water. I'm out of water now. I'm gonna have to go get some more. Yeah, this still has lots of dry pieces, so I'll be right back with some more water, guys. Here's some more water. This is taking a lot more water than I expected. That's okay. Just being really slow about this because I don't want it to have too much water. Happy medium, right? Sorry about that, guys. I just dropped you. Guess I'm being a little too vigorous on my mixing there. And like I said, this is gonna make 2 trays, but we're only gonna start with 1. I did buy 200 of the worms, so I think we will quickly have a second tray. At least I'm hoping. I'm not going to add the newspaper in. I'm going to do half of it once we start that tray because I don't want that to get to rot or anything. So, see, this is wet, but it's definitely not, like, no moisture is coming out of this, but you can hear that moisture in there. All right. Set this aside. Put the spigot on. So I've been reading reviews on this and getting some hints of things to do and not do. And I read one review that somebody said to put some newspaper shreds or paper or something down here, so when you first get the worms, they don't get down here in this water that collects down here and then drowned. So I just got an order from Greenstock with my I ordered a base. They had them in stock, and it came today, and it came with this nice paper. So I figured I would just put some of that down. And what this gives them is a little leverage to get themselves out if they need it. And this next piece is the worm ladder. I think maybe I should shred this. I don't think I should leave it whole. I think if they got under it, it might be a little bit harder for them to get up above it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and shred this. Some pieces don't want to tear very well. Just kind of crumple it. Okay, yeah, I think that's better. And then this is the worm ladder, so if they do get down there, this is how they can get back up. This is our first tray, and it just goes right on that ladder is where it sits, and so there's still some space, but they might be able to get down through there is what they say. So I'm gonna add half of this. It smells like dirt. Get it all covered up here. Says also to add some compost. I'm gonna go grab. It says to add 2 cups of that to it, and this will help start some of that matter starting to biodegradable, and just get the whole process organically moving. Add half of that newspaper in here. I'm gonna add a little bit more water to this, to the newspaper to get it wet. Stick it into my hands now. It said to add the food, but my worms are coming FedEx, and I haven't really found FedEx to be overly accurate on arriving times lately. So I am not going to add food until I have worms, because I don't want anything getting in here because it smells the food. Not that, I guess it won't smell it when the worms are here, but the worms will be here eating it at least. I didn't bring a measuring spoon out for the dust, rock dust, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it like I do for cooking, and I'm just gonna do a good guesstimate. I'll put this stuff in the garage too, because I don't want the moisture getting in. So it says 1 to 2 teaspoons per new tray. Nope. Guess there's a hole there. There's 1. There's 2. Mix that in. And it said to put newspaper across the top after you put the worms in, I just cut a piece of cardboard and I'm gonna put that on it. Add some water to it too. And I'll bring newspaper when I do my worms. So, and then, so when the worms come, we'll just pull this back. We'll put food in one corner and we'll add our worms. And hopefully that'll be tomorrow, if not the next day. But this can just sit and get acclimated and start working. So this is the lid, and it just goes right on like that. Fits really nicely to hopefully help worms not jump out, crawl out, however you want to say that. So I'll be back when the worms arrive. I'll have food ready and worms, and we'll watch them start. Hey, it's Kim again. It's been 3 days, but I finally have my worms. FedEx took quite some time and actually delivered them at about 9:30 last night. So I obviously didn't come out late at night and do it, but they're here now, and we're getting all ready to put them in. We're in the hoop house. We got this set up the other day. I haven't touched it. This is exactly how I left it, and I brought some food out to put in. And the worms look good. Let's get a good view into here. I opened it up, and oh, you can see some crawling around in there. I've been watching some videos and reading some reviews, and I got food and stuff ready. So it says that I didn't weigh these, but there's a lot of dirt in there. I don't think that I could even get anywhere near an accurate reading, because there is a lot of soil in here. Just gonna dump them in. It says to turn this inside out to make sure you got all of them, which good thing we are, because there's some in here. They are small. Oh, look at that one. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Can you see that? Yeah. Their long ride doesn't seem to affect them, so that's really good. They're really wiggling in there. Some of these are just tiny. I'm eager to see how big they get once they start eating. Oh, there's lots of them still in here. Definitely, if you get these, turn them inside out, because I probably have pulled out 10 or 12 here. Some of them look like they haven't made it, but not many. They are all pretty vigorously moving. Look at that, even way down in the crack there's one. Oh, he's gone through the stitching. Let's see if I can pull it out. Oh, I think I broke that one. Still moving though. Oh, there's more. They're everywhere. Alrighty. Oh my goodness. Can you see all those worms? Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at them go. I had to snap a quick picture, sorry. Spray a little water on them. Look at them go. Just gonna spray this pile a little bit to get some moisture on it, because that dirt was pretty dry. I don't think they really like it so much, but all right. So next step here is to put food in. So I took some old vegetables, not old, but you know, past me wanting to eat them vegetables. I put them through the food processors, like cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, some peppers. Basically, I had a vegetable tray that I had recently, and it was leftovers in that. And then I read in some comments that people said that they take their toilet paper rolls and soak them in it. So they said they saw a video on it, but I couldn't find the video. But I'm gonna set those kind of off to the side because I'm gonna put those on top. And just put these vegetables down. It says to do it like in one corner to put your food, and then next time you come in to put your food like in an opposite corner. So there's some food. And then I also have in this bag, I put some toilet paper rolls in there too to soak. So they're really wet. I think it's just to really get the moisture. And in here I have the browns. I have coffee grounds and eggshells. The eggshells I've kind of broken up. So I'm going to put a pile of that just right here next to it. Okay. Getting dirty hands. And I'm gonna spread this. Oops, I got some food over there with these, but I think that's okay. I'm gonna spread this out so I kind of have a flatter surface to put, because you're supposed to cover it with newspaper now. But I'm gonna go ahead and lay out these two over this area. Got my, I don't get the newspaper, so I'm gonna have to start saving stuff that comes in the mail. I got my old Washington voters pamphlet here that I still had. It's past voting. It does not have any staples in it. I double checked because you don't want any staples in there, and there's no staples along the side of it. And I am just gonna lay this over the top. Can you hear the caracatchins? They do not like sirens. They cry. They cry before I even hear the sirens. It's really interesting. Okay. So I'm gonna spray this because it's not moist, so it doesn't withdraw water from my worms. Get that nice and wet. And I'm gonna add my cardboard back on just to give another layer here. And then put the lid on. Nice and tight there. It says to leave them be for a couple days, which is going to be not so fun to have to wait for that, but I guess that's what we do, wait, and we'll check them again to see how they're doing in a few days. Hopefully eating up that food and starting to get to work. I am in the hoop house, and summertime I definitely won't be able to keep them in here, but I'm hoping that this is going to be an okay place for them. You know, they're not getting the direct sunlight, but it gets warmer during the day. You know, it says ideal 40 to 80. We are gonna go down below 40 some nights, or I guess occasionally during the day we might even, but I'm gonna just pay really, really close attention to that. And if I have blankets for when frost comes for plants, and I think I'll drape that over it when we're gonna have cold nights to keep it just a little bit warmer, and see how it does. My garage isn't any different temperature wise than here, and my basement, laundry room doesn't get any light, and they do want to have light, not direct light, but light. And even though we're in the hoop house, it's not direct light because, as you can see, we've got like this opaque plastic here, so it's not direct sunlight. So I really think this is the best place through the winter, and I'm gonna just kind of go with it. Just to give you kind of a little hint of what the temperature is like, this is a thermometer that I use in my hoop house. I love this. So the middle is your current temperature. So right now it's 58.6. The warmest it's got recently, and we've had some real sunny days, is 82.9, and the coldest was probably last night. It got cold last night, was 33.3. I haven't reset this in a few days, so I'll reset it so I can watch it too real carefully. And you just hit the button. Oh, that was a Celsius button. I don't want Celsius, but there's Celsius if anyone wants to know the Celsius. 28.15 and 0.7. But then hit clear here, and it just resets it. Oh, it just bounced up to 60.3 in here, and it keeps track of the cool. See, there you go. Yes, the cool and the hot is the same since I just reset it. So it's outside right now, according to my watch, is 43. So it's significantly warmer in here if the sun's out. So like I said, I think this is the ideal place for summer. Or for winter. Summer, I'm gonna have to come up with a new game plan because it gets well above 80 in here. It gets up into 120 in the summertime. So thanks for following along. I will definitely keep you updated on how these worms do and what I think of them. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.